you, Arsenal. You were last.
Dude, I can't. I gotta blur all
Oh,
this stuff, man.
oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the D. We probably should have done this podcast a week or two ago, but we're going to talk about the Super League. So firstly, I want to get all of our opinions on this. So I guess we'll start with Luke, see what he thinks about the Super League.
So first, I'm going to go just a little bit into the financial kind of aspect, especially kind of for Barcelona, because I think financially for Barcelona, as we all know, they're really in kind of deep debt. So financially, this makes sense. But then again, you also don't want them leaving their league. But, you know, you want Messi staying at Barca. You want Barca playing well again. But I don't know. For Barca, it makes sense. But for a lot of the other clubs, I don't think so.
I think for like most of the clubs, it makes a lot of sense because I saw like a list of what the debt was for each club. And sure, there's some clubs that are in debt that the owners then like pay off, but a lot of the clubs are in like severe debt, like Real Madrid a lot, Barcelona a lot, Juve a lot, Inter a lot. The only clubs that I'd say are doing okay financially that are in that league are Chelsea, AC Milan, City, and Liverpool and Man U. I'd say those are the five that are like set financially. Everyone else, Luke, you guys have no money. Don't act surprised.
Oh, I know.
I think it's a cash grab for all the clubs that are in debt, and they dragged in these other big clubs that don't really need money, but you know they needed more clubs, and so I think it's just a cash grab.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it from the financial standpoint, it seems like it is beneficial for most of the teams joining the Super League. But the question you have to ask when thinking about is this a good idea is, are the fans going to like it? Are the players going to like it? Obviously not. And I guess my question to either one of you guys is, did the owners or the people that were in charge of writing this letter of intent to join the league, did they not expect there to be so much backlash from the fans?
I think that originally they thought it was just going to be a better Champions League, that it was just going to be the best teams and Arsenal, and then they were just going to kind of have the really good time with and get the fans some really good matches, which, like, you know, who doesn't want to see like Man City playing PSG every week? But then also on the other end is like you also want to see Arsenal lose to Fulham, and you want to see like all this like league play that we've all kind of come to love.
So you say we would want to see Manchester City versus PSG every week or big games like that. Big games won't be big games if you see them every week. That's what makes them so special, is that you only see them once in a while. You see 2 El Clasicos per year. If you see 5, 6 El Clasicos a year, then it loses all its value.
I have to say though, the thing I liked about these big matches every week was like, what are the chances I get to see like AC Milan play versus Chelsea? You know, if we don't get lucky and match up in the same Champions League group or Europa League or whatever, like it'd be fun to be able to watch these games every week. But like Aiden said, it takes, you know, a lot of the hype around the games. It takes it away. But like, I don't know. I feel like the games would be really fun to watch, and the league sounds amazing, like at a financial standpoint. But obviously, all the fans hated it. I think the owners all just saw this. Oh, 350 million. Oh, big games every week. Oh, new TV deals. We're gonna get so much money. We're gonna get so much more popular, like all around the world. Break into the American market. The owners saw that and didn't really think about, you know, the fans of their own club getting mad that the smaller teams won't be getting that money and won't be getting into this league.
Yeah, and I think that especially because we live in America, we have a very different viewpoint on it than people who live like in the nations where the teams are. Because in in American sports, a lot of times we see, oh, big money, just go for it. But obviously we aren't as like kind of we're not like as intertwined with the clubs as they are in, say, England. Like you kind of like you live your life by a team. And like here, you just see like people switching teams all the time. They don't really care. They just kind of follow the league. And I think that makes a huge difference that, the American market is looking at it very different than the European market. Just kind of based off of how sports are in each, kind of nation, country.
I thought it was also really interesting. I looked more into like the details of all the contracts and stuff. There was the teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid, who were the teams that needed the most money. They were the ones getting the full 350 mil, getting all the money. And then there was teams like Atletico Madrid and I think it was Inter who were like barely getting any money. I think it was like 40 million for joining. And it just shows like Real Madrid, Barcelona, you know, Tottenham too. Like they were in it just for the money. Like they needed the money and they just wanted the 350 million. They didn't care if they were going to hurt fans. They didn't care if they were going to hurt, the players on the team. And also teams like Arsenal and Tottenham, they don't really get to see European football too much anymore. This looked like, oh, we can get in the Champions League and always be in the Champions League, even though we're kind of bad clubs. Like they saw this and were like, okay, easy. We get European football every week and we don't even have to worry about getting relegated.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine that none of the owners thought that there was going to be that much backlash, but I guess the owners were like, okay, yeah, you're right. We aren't going to get European football. We want to give the fans something to cheer about, right? So it seems like it's a win-win. The fans get to see big games and we get more money, right? It makes sense. You mentioned that some of the teams were just doing it for the money only. We saw the Champions League finalists 2020, PSG, and then the Champions League winners, Bayern. Why do you think they didn't join? Do they value their fans more than these other 12 clubs?
I think, especially with what we're seeing with Bayern recently, kind of we're really seeing Bundesliga turn into a one club, like a one club league. Now that they're getting their literal rivals manager is coming, and they're just signing players who they kind of please in the league. I think that they don't really need the money. They don't really care. They're just going to win the league every year, and that's going to be that. And I think that's pretty upsetting because also I want to see teams like Bayern be really competitive, and I love watching teams like Bayern be really competitive because in their league, you don't really get that all too much. You get maybe four games a year where it's really competitive for them in their league, and that's a bit upsetting for me.
I think Bayern and PSG also, I was reading, they're in all the statements for Super League. They're in everything. They say like, all the papers act as if they're a part of it. And I honestly feel like they were going to be a part of it. They just wanted to see everybody else's reactions first. They basically didn't want to take the blame, but if it got positive feedback, they wanted to be able to jump into it, which I don't know if I respect that a whole lot because there's no way that, Bayern and PSG aren't going to join this league. And also there's no way that they're in all the documents, but they somehow declined. Like, I don't think they did. I think they were just waiting to see so that they didn't get blamed if it went under like it did. But I want to talk about the owners. They kind of decided on joining this league without even telling the rest of the team. I mean, you look at like Jurgen Klopp said he didn't know. I know Maldini, who he said he had no idea. I know who Jose Mourinho didn't support it. He had no idea what was happening. It was kind of the owners just went and did this without even communicating to the rest of the club, which I found very weird because usually with a decision like this, you're going to want to talk to, I mean, even if you don't go and talk to your players, you're going to want to talk to your manager at least about this.
And that is why I think it was just all about money. If you're the owner, whoever's participating in the Super League, whoever's trying to get them into the Super League, if you're not even going to tell your own manager, your own players, a lot of your own staff, what are you really trying to do? It's just an easy way to get hundreds of millions of euros per year that's going to benefit you. It will benefit the club financially, but in every other aspect, it won't benefit them.
Yeah, I think it's terrible. Just that they kind of went out by themselves, and especially as a club who's been a bit against their owner in recent years, and we've not liked Stan Kroenke, and we think Stan Kroenke doesn't do enough for the club, and he doesn't. But this really could be a true turning point to kind of force more expectations on all the club's owners, which I think is really good. I think that clubs owners should be really involved and that this kind of should be their thing, and I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel about your club's owners, but with my club, it a lot of times feels like Stan Kroenke just kind of owns the club and just sits there. He just kind of gives them a little bit of money to spend in hopes that they do well, which feels really terrible. And hopefully he'll get bought out by the one dude who founded Spotify. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they said he was like trying to outbid everybody, but he has the backing of Bergkamp and Thierry Henry and Arsenal legends. So it seems like he will take over. It'd be kind of cool. I feel like you guys could come up with some like black and green third kits with like the Spotify logo. I don't know. I just thought of that. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be sick. I saw something on TikTok and it was like Tottenham fans are going to start canceling their Spotify premium memberships. Like, I think it's a good thing if there's a change in ownership to Arsenal.
Yeah, but I also read today that his first offer, I forget what it was, like 1.3 billion, 1.8 billion.
1.8 billion.
Yeah, he said, I fully expect this to get rejected. And like I think he knows that it's going to be so difficult to be able to buy Arsenal. I honestly don't think Kroenke is going to sell unless he gets a crazy deal. Because if you're rejecting 1.8 billion for Arsenal, I mean, I'd take that deal any day.
Well, yeah.
So actually on that, I did a bit of reading on this, kind of when this whole Spotify thing came out. Kroenke valued our club at $4.8 billion. So, $1.8 billion is way off. I don't think we're worth $4.8 billion. But I think that it's really interesting that Stan Kroenke really is showing that he wants to keep the club, but he's just not doing all too much for the club, which I think is just really poor. Like at least from a fan standpoint, it just looks a lot like he's really not caring about the club.
Well, okay, so you say you're not, or you don't think Arsenal is worth $4 billion, right? The most expensive team in the world, worth the most, is Barcelona at around 4 point something billion. Arsenal is one of the best teams in English football history historically.
Okay, I was gonna say right now we are not, but
we could say no, not now. We could say in the Premier League era. I'm not going to speak too much on before the Premier League because I would have to look more into it. But in the Premier League era, obviously Wenger's Arsenal is one of the best ever. Yeah. Obviously, Arsenal have dropped down in everything in recent years. How much does that affect the value of the club? Does it really take away billions of dollars or euros?
The only thing that Arsenal really has going for them is their fan base. Because if you think if you're going to invest so much money into a team that has no players, I say no players, but like you guys really have like two, I'd say stars, and that's it. No European football. You're not making money from, finishing top 4 Champions League or even Europa League. It's kind of like the only way you're making money is through your fan base, selling out tickets, selling jerseys, stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, I think your decline in form has affected your worth so much because your club is kind of history at this point, and it's all about your history and your fan base, and your team just really has nothing to offer.
Yeah, and especially with our recent loss to
Sorry about that, my bad,
which really hurts.
For those of you who are listening on Spotify or Apple Music, you can't see what's going on, but Luke is basically moving in slow motion right now. All right, Luke, should we try again?
You're on mute, buddy.
Yes, we shall.
All right, I think you're good.
Yeah, I'm alive. Okay, so I think that Eco makes a really valid point. With obviously, I mean, you don't have to say it twice, but Arsenal's been playing very poorly as of recent. Even last year, I think we kind of really started the downtrend. And I think that, as a fan, it sucks to see. But we're seeing some really promising youngsters coming through, like Bukayo Saka and Nketiah, which I really do like to see. But right now, we don't have we're not getting the funds to go and spend big this summer. And our team value is also declining because we had players like Aubameyang, we had players like Pepe, who, you know, they were at one point very expensive. We bought Pepe for a lot of money, and he's just not that anymore. And obviously, Aubameyang's, you know, he's grown in age, but he's also just not the player that we need him to be, which sucks. But you know, it's going to be a bit of a rebuild, and we'll probably suck for a couple of years, and it is what it is, and hopefully we don't get relegated. But it sucks. It sucks.
So I want to know, you know, obviously when Chelsea's ownership changed and Abramovich took over, I was born. So I don't know what it was like before Abramovich. I grew up with the Abramovich era. So when there's a new owner that takes over Arsenal, is signing players the key to becoming a better club? Like what do you want to see from the new owner to become a better club?
I don't want to. I don't want to see him right away going and spending like $400 million. I just don't think that that's the way that soccer really should be. I think that it should be a bit more of a long game. But obviously there are changes that do need to be made this summer. You know, we do need to bring some players in. We don't have any fullbacks right now, like at all. We're playing a center back at right back and a CDM at left back. And Danny Ceballos is the worst midfielder in the world. You know, at least he got a red card. A bit happy about that one. But it's just a team that should not on paper be struggling this much. And maybe it comes back to Mikel Arteta, and maybe, well, and it does come back to Stan Kroenke, but something's got to change. You know, we didn't make the transfers that we didn't make all the transfers that we really wanted to last year. Just simply because we didn't have the funds to, which is all on Kroenke. And I think that bringing in new ownership that really believes in whoever the manager is, I don't know how much longer Arteta will stay because he's doing terrible right now. But I think having an owner that'll really believe that we can do well and kind of give some money will really help us out.
Yeah, but you also want like an owner who is financially responsible. I know from like an AC Milan standpoint, you know, we had before our owners now, our previous owners got us into so much debt, got us into so much financial trouble, all this stuff. And then we all, you know, we wanted them out so much, we got them out. And this new group, this American group came in. They were very good financially. They covered all of our debt. And now our finances are set. So, you know, you also want to think about like an owner who is financially, you know, he's responsible. He knows what he's doing. He's not going to put your club into debt, into financial issues, you know. So it's not all about, you know, obviously you want an owner who cares about the team and puts money into the team, but you also want an owner who knows what he's doing with his money.
And with owners, staying on the topic of just all owners, we saw that Ed Woodward is also resigning from Manchester United. Juventus's owner, not resigning from Juventus, but resigning from, I forget what what it was called, the ESL. I don't remember what it was. It was one of like the European club things. I forgot the name, unfortunately, but apparently they said Woodward of Manchester United was planning on resigning anyway, not because of the Super League. Do we buy that? I see Luke shaking your head yes, Ego shaking your head no. I want to hear both sides of it.
No, why would he have retired? Like you're not retired, step down. I think maybe there was like a thought in the back of his mind, and then this whole drama over the Super League, everyone started to hate on him. He kind of like used it as a way to get out. I don't think he was planning on leaving before this happened. I think he just used that as a cover.
I do think that COVID also does play a factor into this, that COVID's been really financially hard on all clubs. So it could have it probably does in some way have something to do with COVID. But I do agree with Eco a little bit that, you know, he kind of saw his opportunity and just took it to say, hey, I'm done now. My time's over.
So clearly this is all about COVID and money. You know, like you said, a lot of teams have gone into debt, or a lot of teams just lost a lot of money. because of COVID. Not even just the 12 teams in the Super League. Many teams around the world have lost a lot of money, taken a huge hit because of COVID. The main man behind the Super League is Madrid's president, Perez, right? In my opinion, he's just money hungry. This is all about money. He came up with that excuse where he says 16 to 24-year-olds don't enjoy football. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on. Like that's a ridiculous statement. Does he really think that? Or is this just an excuse to get it away from talking about money only?
I think it's an excuse, but I also think this Super League would have brought so much attraction from other players. I mean, for example, in America, everybody knows Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar. Nobody cares about soccer. But if you get to watch Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar play versus each other every single week, maybe Americans would start to like it more. I think they were also trying to break into other countries and become more popular. It was definitely all about the money. It also just could have been like an amazing, smart plan of Perez to get Real Madrid out of debt, because the deal was if you leave, you got to pay the fee to Perez. All that money goes to Perez, goes to Real Madrid, funds Holland and Mbappe. All I'm saying, it could have been a genius plan by him.
I fully agree. I think that this was kind of his plan B. Plan A was Super League works and we make a whole lot of money, and plan B is I make a lot of money, which is terrible. And I think that everyone can kind of agree, and I think even Madrid fans would agree that that's just terrible. That's not the way the sport should be. It's a business, right? And I really don't like that. I think that's really low from him.
And it kind of scares me. I'm going to reference to something I said, not in the last episode, but the episode before, when I mentioned Nakata, how he retired for this exact reason. It's clear to see that football is becoming a business, and the money is just taking over, and people don't care about the fans. It's all about the money now. And I know that the Super League is suspended. Obviously, when we were planning on talking about this, it hadn't been suspended yet. So I was a little more scared. But in the back of my head, I'm still a little bit scared of what can happen in the future. This is not something that Perez is just going to give up on, right? The Super League may be suspended, but you can't tell me that Perez doesn't have other plans on making another Super League or another way to get a lot of money that the fans are just
out
hate.
there now.
Right.
But also, Super League is not even close to being dead. Like the idea of it starting, this summer, that's dead. But also, no teams have paid the fee to leave. Barcelona, Real Madrid. Well, Barcelona's president said he's going to let the fans choose, but Barcelona, Real Madrid, Inter, Juve, they're all still in it. They still have not left it. No clubs paid the fee, which means technically everyone is still in this, like club of teams, I guess you could say. Nobody's left it yet. I think they're probably just waiting until they get a better idea, because the Super League is far from being dead. There's still, all the teams are still in it. There's this idea now, like Luke just said, people are going to want something like this. Maybe they switch it so that there's no like permanent teams. They find some way, but there's no way that Super League is dead.
Yeah. I don't know. The idea is out there now, and someone's going to end up doing something with it, which scares me a lot. Maybe it's 5 years, 10 years from now. And I don't think that, obviously this summer it's going to happen with, the Euros. But I also think that the idea of it scares me. And teams like Arsenal and teams that are, aren't as financially stable as others don't have the funds to pay the fee to leave. That's a big fee that Arsenal would much rather just have dished out on, buying a whole new back line. That, because it's, one stupid decision, well, multiple stupid decisions leading to an ultimate stupid decision that's going to cost us a lot of money. And that scares me that a lot of the clubs may say, let's just do this for a season, see how it goes. We will make money instead of losing money. And hopefully we won't go into more debt than we already are in.
Is that worth losing all your fans and getting, everybody who's supported you forever? Is that worth losing them all? I mean, again, I don't know if you'd lose your fans because I don't know. Do you guys think if Chelsea and Arsenal were to play in the Super League, would you stop supporting them and find another club? No. So you're not really gonna lose fans, but you're going to lose a lot of respect from the fans and a lot of respect from all other clubs. I mean, I know AC Milan when we played last weekend, the club we were playing, I want to say, yeah, it was Sassuolo. Their manager came out and said, like, we are going to try our hardest because we want to kill these guys. They showed so much disrespect by trying to ditch us and try and join the Super League. So it made a lot of the other clubs lose a lot of respect for every team that's in this league and get a lot of hatred towards all these teams.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely right with how many fans are they really going to lose? For me, I was thinking, what's going to happen when Chelsea plays in the Super League? This is a legitimate thing that I was thinking of. Is this going to affect anything in terms of how big of a Chelsea fan I am? No. I'm a Chelsea fan and I'm a loyal Chelsea fan, just like Luke's a loyal Arsenal fan and you're a loyal AC Milan fan. We're never going to stop supporting our clubs no matter what happens, but a giant chunk of respect is lost. And I was definitely going to lose a lot of respect for my club and for the 11 other clubs joining the Super League.
Yeah. And I think it's also, kind of something that we haven't touched on as much is kind of the domestic leagues and how this is going to affect teams more like Leicester, teams like West Ham, who are doing so well and proving their worth. And then maybe next year they have to go and win the league playing against Sunderland. It's just like really low, I think. I think that this has to do a lot with respect. And this is really disrespectful to the teams that they would normally play and teams that would normally be in the Champions League but aren't in this. And teams like the teams that aren't going to make it all the way to Europe but are showing their worth in their leagues and their supporters. And obviously, the teams that were planning to join it, their supporters are obviously pissed, as they should be. But I think that, it's more than just the 12 clubs that were going to join. You have to take a look at the nations. These players were going to miss the Euros. When you look at nations like England, they're missing a majority of their stars if their teams join. And I don't think that anyone wants to see a really weak Euros because we're all looking forward to the Euros. I think it's all something that we love. We love tournaments like that. This is why we love football, because you're not just supporting one team. You're supporting, this is my nation. This is where I live. Like, this is what I love so much about like the Euros in the World Cup. And this would just miss out all of that.
Yeah, what FIFA and UEFA were threatening, it's just, I tried my hardest to imagine what the sport would look like with Chelsea, my team, of course, not in the Champions League, not in the Premier League, Mason Mount not playing for England, right? Among other players, of course. Watching a World Cup where the best players aren't even playing because they decided to do some dumb Super League that people are going to still watch.
Decision.
Like,
wasn't even their decision.
Yeah, exactly. People are still going to watch the Super League if it's going to happen. But it's just not going to be the same. You win a trophy, and what does it mean to you? If Chelsea won the Super League, I can't imagine I would be that happy. Great, we won a trophy that has no history. And of course, there's always a start for something. Maybe in 100 years, that's going to be the historically the best trophy ever. But I don't want to win that. I'd much rather win the FA Cup than the Super League because of the historical importance of the tournament, the first tournament in English football, starting back in the 1800s. I'd much rather win that. So to hear that Chelsea could potentially be ruled out of their semifinal matchup against Madrid and the FA Cup final against Leicester City and not be able to play in the Premier League, meaning they wouldn't play in the Champions League the next year because they're in top four, like, it scared me. I can't imagine, especially for AC Milan with Eco. They're finally getting into a Champions League spot, and now you hear that.
Whoa. Not anymore.
Well, we're gonna
but-
see about that one, but
But let's just say by the
Don't make me cry.
at the time of the Super League emerging, you guys were in a decent spot for top four. Either way, you're in a decent position of playing European football, whether it's Europa League or Champions League, first time in a while. And now imagine you can't even play in that because you're playing in some Super League.
Oh, when this first came out, we were sitting pretty in second place, Champions League 100%. And I was so mad. I was like, I'm finally gonna get to 8 in all these years. Dude, you guys don't even play Champions League soccer. What are you talking about? I can finally we have Champions League, and I see AC Milan might get banned from Champions League, and I was so mad. I was if we didn't play in the Champions League, if we don't play in the Champions League next year, I'm gonna be so mad. But I was so mad in the moment because I honestly thought everybody was gonna get banned. I thought we were all banned. Luckily, we weren't. Now we still kind of have a chance to make Champions League. We'll see what happens. But
I mean, not to steer too far away from the Super League, but I'm going to a little bit. Like Iko, I want to know like how are you, man? Because like you went from challenging
Not good.
challenging for the Scudetto, then challenging for second place, challenging for Champions League, and now you're challenging for Europa League. I mean, are you good? Like, is everything okay?
No, listen, it's been a tough couple of weeks. Ever since it's been a tough year. Our form has been awful this year. I want Pioli gone. He sucks. He doesn't know how to make subs. He doesn't know how to make a starting lineup. It's so sad. But it is. You guys probably don't even like know this at all because you don't follow Italian soccer. But like all of Pioli's teams, he's known for being insane in the first half of the year. The team is so strong, and then they just suck in the second half of the year. And that's a perfect example of what AC Milan's doing. Our first half of the year, we were so fast paced. We you can't do that. Now I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, we were so like fast. We were fast paced, going like so heavy that the second half of the year, everyone's burned out now, and there's a lot of injuries. If we don't make Champions League, might not watch soccer next year. Don't know. We'll see what happens.
It's interesting to me, Iko, because I want to do I want to get some clips from the podcast where you were like, Donnarumma's staying. I love Pioli. AC Milan winning the Scudetto.
No, hold on. I need to say something.
yeah,
right
go
here,
on
right now.
about Donnie.
I want him gone. So I hope. No, listen.
The table.
I know. I might be just saying this because he might actually leave now, but dead serious. If he stays, I'm gonna be so sad because I want Mike Maignan so bad. He's so good. He actually he cares about the team. He's not all about the money. We're getting him for I think we agreed to we already agreed with him. Basically we agreed 18 million with Lille plus 120 a week, 130 a week for one of the best goalies in the world at the moment, I'd say. He's been incredible. Plus, we can put the money that we would have spent on Donnarumma into going and buying Fikayo Tomori or signing players, stuff like that.
Good.
I'm mostly worried about not re-signing Hakan and not re-signing Romagnoli because although I don't like Romagnoli, that would be a tough blow because we're going to lose so much money on him. We've built him up so much, and we're going to lose all that money. Donnarumma, he can go. He doesn't care about the club anymore. He cares about himself. I hate him.
Give me a break. I mean, real quick. Sorry to cut you off here, but you were overreacting in our soccer group chat when Donnarumma swapped his shirt with the ref, and he was smiling. You're overreacting.
That wasn't the ref.
I thought
that was the other goalie, and we just got smacked. Hold on. We just got smacked by them 3-0. And he's giggling with the guy right after the game. I'm like, dude, we just dropped from second to fifth. But also it's not just because we lost. It's because he played an awful game. He should have taken responsibility, been with the rest of the team, taking blame for 2 of the goals that they scored because they were completely his fault.
Right.
But he's sitting there laughing. He didn't care. He posts on his Instagram, tough loss, boys. Sorry. No, it's not.
What you want him to do.
Bro, he shouldn't have been on the field laughing with the other team. He should have been in the locker room with the rest of our team, apologizing for messing up on 2 of their goals.
First of all, I just want to say this real quick. And again, I have no experience of playing at a high-ish level in soccer. I feel like Luke is the only one that has that experience. But why apologize? you should never apologize to your team. That just affects everybody's morale. There's no
No.
I'm sorry. In my opinion, there's no I'm sorry. It's hey, we as a team up. I gotta bleep that. Sorry about that. We as a team messed up. But you got to understand, you can't apologize. You can't do that. It's
No,
a team sport. No
You
matter
can't.
if someone messes up individually, yes, it is on them, but don't apologize for it. It is a team sport.
I completely disagree.
I know you do.
Okay. 2 of the goals were his fault. We sure maybe they shouldn't have been given the opportunity, but they were simple saves he should have made. He should have apologized for the mistake. You say, boys, I'm sorry. 2 of those goals were on me. Like he shouldn't have been on the field laughing. He should have been in the locker room with the rest of the team. I mean, the guy is he shows that. And by the way, every AC Milan fan, every person who followed or who watched that game and saw that moment will agree with me that that was so disrespectful. He doesn't. Everybody agrees he's all about the money now. It's sad because he's been with us. I want to keep him because he's been with us since he was 16. I've literally watched him grow up with the team. He's been amazing for us, but also kind of like football's becoming a business and they only care about the money. That's the mindset of some players now. He really only cares about the money, and if that means he goes to one of our rival teams, Juventus, if they pay because they offered him the money, if he goes to them, I'd prefer to see him go to Chelsea or PSG. If he goes to Juve, I'm gonna be so mad because he's snaking us for them, and he obviously didn't care about the club.
It happens. Every player like that comes out of the youth academy, they're gonna eventually leave if they're not, obviously if their team's
But
not
it's
doing
terrible that it's happening in this fashion. I think is more than, oh, it sucks that he's leaving. It's like he wants out. Like he doesn't want to be at the club, and he's supposed to be the captain.
Whoa! He hasn't said that.
But
He hasn't said he wants out.
But he's not like re-signing his contracts, and he's not showing that he's a captain. Like last year, I think Eco could agree with me that Donnarumma stepped up and was a really good captain, but he was better than this year.
I'm gonna have to stop you there
Better than
because
this year.
he's not our captain. He's never been our captain until Romagnoli got benched.
Okay, good
Romagnoli's
point.
always been our captain.
I think that it's important that players who've been at the club for so long become an important part of the squad, and it sucks to see from an outside perspective that they're gonna get nothing for him.
I'm thinking because we're talking about money and all that. Let's say a player is getting paid an absurd amount of money per week, and the team goes into the Super League, and you hear about all these stipulations where you can't play in the Euros, you can't play in the World Cup, can't play in the Champions League, Premier League, whatever it is. Are you going to leave and go to a team like Leicester City, West Ham?
It depends on the player you are. I mean, perfect example, Donnarumma probably would stick with the money. But also, you look at a player like, I don't know, Declan Rice or something, or like a Harry Kane who cares about, the legacy that he has with. I mean, Harry Kane hasn't won a trophy. He's been with Tottenham forever. He doesn't care. It's because he's loyal and he cares about the Tottenham legacy. Now, obviously, he's coming to the end of his career and he's like, I want a trophy. Like, just give me a trophy. But he's stuck with Tottenham through everything. That shows you those are the characteristics of a real soccer player who doesn't care about the money and cares about the sport.
And I think while we're on the topic of transfers, I think that we should do a quick touch on Arsenal's newest possible transfer, which would be Julian Brandt from Dortmund. And I just wanted, curious what you guys think about that.
I think it's a good move for you guys because you're gonna get him for so cheap, but he's not gonna fill the Martin Odegaard role or who was the other person you were looking at?
It was Ozil before that. Smith Rowe.
Oh yeah, but no, you were thinking about
Awar.
No, who was the player? He
Saab.
plays for in France.
Awar.
No.
What team?
Whatever. Oh, Fekir.
Oh,
You were looking at
not playing
Fekir.
He's playing in Spain, but
France.
Betis.
Plays
He
for
left,
Betis.
a couple years ago to Betis.
Yeah.
I
He
don't know,
was
maybe
at
it's-
Lille.
Whatever.
Or-
But again, he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna be an amazing world class player with you guys. He'll do the job. I mean, you're not really competing in Champions League, probably not even Europa League. So you don't need an insanely skilled player to stick in the middle of the table. So he'll do the job of being meh.
Hopefully we sign Odegaard though.
You might.
You're not unless Eck comes in before the summer.
Please,
you're not
Eck.
getting
Please,
Odegaard.
Eck.
Is he
Please.
Swedish, right, or something like that?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's like Scandinavian. I don't know.
Scandinavian, one of those countries. It's kind of interesting. I was thinking of Arsene Wenger. He said in 2009 that in about 10 years we were going to see something like the Super League. This is, to me, I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever heard because he, almost spot on predicted it. But then you realize this has been going on for a lot longer than I thought. I watched Rebecca Lowe. She had an interview on the Dan Patrick Show recently about the Super League. Basically, she explained to all the Americans that had no idea what this was, what it's like. You guys should definitely watch the interview. I think it was amazing. She said that it's been dating back all the way to the 1960s in newspapers about one day there being a giant European league like this, expanding and all that. Why has it taken so long? Why has it taken so long for them to even get the idea to really act on this? And it's been talked about for years and years and years, over 60 years. Why now?
I think it was definitely rushed by the pandemic because obviously we saw it didn't go as planned when they first mentioned Super League. Everyone freaked out. So I think it was a bit premature. I don't know if they were ready to do it, but all the clubs have taken such a financial hit during the pandemic that they realized we need to do this now. Like we need the money now. So I think it's always been in the talks because there needs to be some sort of change. I mean, we know that UEFA, we know that FIFA, they're very corrupt, and they're not loved by the football community. So there needs to be a change, but the Super League definitely is not the answer.
Fully agreed. Fully agreed. And I can talk sweet about Arsene Wenger for years. And I think that he is truthfully a football genius. But I do think that everything that he says is right. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan, but I think that a lot of his opinions that he expresses are more so that of the fans than that of the business, which is why you see so many people agreeing with him, especially when he made a huge presentation about the offside rule and VAR, and about how he made a where'd you lose me at?
No, you're back.
Yeah,
He made a whole presentation about.
Okay, he made a whole presentation about the offside rule and VAR, and kind of how that affects the whole game and how this should be fixed. And obviously, it didn't get a lot of publicity because it's kind of a inside thing that he was just saying, let's make football better. Let's make it a bit more attacking. Let's change VAR for the better. And I think that's amazing. And I think that, he should truthfully take up a serious role, either at FIFA or UEFA. But I think that he speaks for the people, which gives me hope that someday, I don't know when, hopefully soon, but someday that he'll be able to, really change the game for better.
Yeah, you've hit the nail right on the head there when you talk about that. Wenger is for the people, not just for the business or for the money. The last time we saw Wenger all over the news was when he left Arsenal and everyone was Wenger out, Wenger out, Wenger out. I am Wenger in for president of UEFA or FIFA. And I think this is coming from a guy who hates Arsenal and who's hated playing against Wenger's Arsenal. I know, sorry, but I have to say, but this is coming from a Chelsea
Everyone
fan.
hated playing against Wenger's Arsenal.
I would say that even Tottenham fans would want Wenger in as president. We all want him in, I think. There's not a better person to fill that role because he is for us as in the fans and the supporters. And that is the most important part to me, is what's best for the people, not for the business.
But you also do have to look I mean, he has such big ties with Arsenal. He is so, he loves them, everything, that maybe some people are going to be like, oh, there's bias, there's corruption, maybe there's bias towards the Premier League or even just Arsenal. I mean, everybody's going to always make an excuse. I love Arsene Wenger. I think he's an amazing football knowledge. So I'd love to see him in, but everybody's going to argue that, bias towards Arsenal, bias towards the Prem.
Well, he did coach in France, and
I also disagree. I mean, Platini, who was president of FIFA, obviously has been accused of all this corrupt things and all that.
Well, no, he is corrupt.
Corrupt, he is.
is.
But like,
But
he played for Juve, I believe. He's played like, if there's the president of UEFA or FIFA is all. I mean, there's always going to be ties to. Oh well, he played for this team. He coached this team. He's a fan of this team. You think Wenger's really going to do that? I know he's like his life goes to Arsenal. I know you said he coached in France, but like his life is Arsenal because that's where he spent most of his career. I'm not worried about that at all. As one of Arsenal's rivals, I'm not worried about any bias towards Arsenal or anything. Now, since the Super League has been suspended, I would like to go into the teams pulling out. I would like to start by saying Chelsea, the first team to pull out of the Super League, sort of created that domino effect.
Whoa. First team to come out with it, but I read a thing that Man City was the first team to affect. Just to clear it up. Man City, they say Man City was the first official
officially,
team
but who had the idea?
Yeah. I'm just tossing it out.
Chelsea,
they all got so accused.
I think
they were like, "Get out!"
Right. So I think all the teams were thinking about getting out. Chelsea was the first team to go public with wanting to leave. They didn't get the paperwork done before Man City, if that makes you feel any better about yourself, Iko. But Chelsea were the ones to start the domino effect. And then I'll make Iko happy right now. I'm pretty sure Milan
was the first
non-prem team to not officially leave, but to say that they were going to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's okay with you, can I say that or?
You Arsenal, you were last.
Dude, I can't. I gotta blur all this
stuff.
Yes.
We've all done one except for Luke.
I forgot. No, Luke did one when remember Luke. Luke, when he cut out, was like,
I can just blur everything. I just say. Well, they're not even gonna understand what that says.
Yeah.
Fine.
Right,
anyway,
go back.
Sorry about that. So, I want to know what. I guess I'm glad that we all support a team that was in the Super League conversation, because it's easier to get different opinions on how you feel about your own club. I know how I feel about Chelsea, and when they pulled out, I think that was very great, and I think that Abramovich realized very quickly that the fans didn't like this, and Petr Cech as well. I want to know how you guys feel about your club, even though they left or even though they wanted to leave. Are you going to accept that apology that they all gave? Because all the clubs issued a sort of a statement, an apology. How do you feel about that? Is the respect gone?
I mean, I'm always going to love my club. You're always going to love Chelsea. Luke's always going to love Arsenal. Sure, I lost a little bit of respect. No, you're going to feel the same towards. I think if it went through, then, you could talk about losing respect, but they all pulled out. The teams I've lost respect for are Real Madrid, 100%. I've lost respect for Barca, lost respect for Inter, lost respect for Juve, because those are the four teams that don't want to leave. They want to keep this going.
Yeah. For me as an Arsenal fan, it's hard to accept a lot of things. But I think, like Iko said, it's just like, I don't know, whatever, move on. Like, it sucks, and it is what it is. Whatever. I don't know. I'm still going to be an Arsenal fan through and through. And even if they stayed in the Super League, I would have been a little pissed off. But, like, I'm an Arsenal fan. Like, I kind of have to respect what they do. Obviously, I'm going to go against, I'm anti-Super League. But I'm still an Arsenal fan, right? I'm just going to support Arsenal until I can't.
Yeah, again, I'm always going to be a Chelsea fan. I've made that very clear, and I know we're all very loyal fans. it was a very, very abrupt day in terms of like I woke up and saw the news that everyone signed their letters of intent. I was like, are you kidding me? I'd barely heard of this thing before they signed this. In fact, you guys obviously wake up earlier than I do. So I wake up to our group chat freaking out about the Super League, and I'm just like, what is the Super League? What is this? And now I'm seeing that this is, an actually a big thing. We saw the sports life flash before our own eyes. This whole game could have been changed forever. Thankfully, it wasn't or hasn't yet. But I'm very, very thankful that all the teams decided that they were going to do the right thing and they weren't going to just focus on money, and that the fans really did mean something. And to me, I know you said you've lost respect for some teams, but to me, the fact that Chelsea pulled out early, that's yeah, I can't say that. The fact that Chelsea decided to leave the Super League early definitely showed me, and I hope the rest of the Chelsea fans, that they really do care about us and that we mean something to them.
Well, listen, it's been a dramatic past month in all of soccer. It's been also a very busy month for Inside the D podcast. We've had a lot of guests. We've had a lot of stuff happening. So we haven't been able to do a game in a long time. So we're back with an oldie but goodie, transfer market value. Changing it up a little bit this time. I'm not going to give them options. They just got to try and guess. We're starting with, I'd say, a pretty easy player. Everybody knows this player. Everybody loves this player. Bruno Fernandes. What do you think his market value is?
Bag of chips.
He is 26.
Is he a bag of chips? How old is he? He's like 20 something.
He's 26.
So it's just wait, are we doing euros?
Dollars.
Like American US dollars.
American US
Yeah.
dollars.
Oh, my handwriting is shocking.
Right. Yeah. I wrote it too small. I'm not writing all the zeros, by the way. I'm just going to write an M.
Okay.
It's,
Ready?
Go for it.
yeah. No way!
No, if it's anything higher, you win.
Above! Come on, the above!
Is it above or below 89 or 88?
Like 88.5.
It's above with 99.
No!
99 million. Luke gets the first point.
I almost put 90. Oh, I tried to be like exact.
The next player, he's a player who everybody, kind of thought fell off. A teammate of Bruno Fernandes's, and it's Edinson Cavani. What is his market value?
It's probably
Remember,
got right up since
he's been very good recently.
Thirty.
Very good.
How old is he?
He is 34.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
oh man. Is he? Well, I gotta change that.
Yeah,
That's a
but
terrible
he hasn't fallen off to like a smaller club just yet.
Let me see. All right, I'm ready.
I am
Luke?
prepared.
3, 2, 1. Wait, what? So we tied.
It doesn't matter.
Neither of you are even close. It's 7.7 million.
Why did we both go for
But-
26?
That's so crazy. Can we both get a point for that? Because technically
Well,
we
it
were
doesn't
both.
matter. You're still up one.
Okay, 2-1.
I have 2 points.
Next
Wait.
player,
Yo, Luke, that's crazy.
another player from the Prem. It's Harry Kane. Recently been linked to a move. How much does
I know
Tottenham
I know how much his clause is.
How much? Or how old is he?
How much does Tottenham think he's worth? He
Oh,
is
31.
27 years old.
He's way
Harry
younger than I
Kane's
thought. he
only
was. Wait,
27? Wow. That's crazy. I
I
thought he
don't
was way older.
I've got my answer. Luke, if we put the same thing, I'm gonna really freak out right now. Like we've been.
it's
All right, 3,
One and
2,
under.
1.
All right. Yeah, way
Oh.
off. I went on the under.
Ego, do you have to do math for this one? Is it in between?
No, boys, you're way off.
Give me
132
that
mil.
150.
Oh yeah,
Aiden gets the point. It's 2-2.
he's one of the best. He's only 27.
Yeah, he's
His
only
buyout
27.
clause is like 180 mil or
So
something.
then why'd
like
you go for
that.
72
Yeah,
million?
then
He's
why'd
not-
you go for 72 mil?
Because they always put the buyout clause way above.
But it's Harry Kane. He's
Bro,
the second best
Holland
striker
has
in
like
the
a
world.
$300 million buyout clause.
Wait, Iko, how many do you have left?
Two more.
Oh, we
So
could
listen.
tie.
Oh, it's 2-2.
The next player wasn't his market value was definitely lower a year ago, but recently he's been incredible. Some may say he's world class now. Alphonso Davies. What is his market value?
Oh, he's young as well.
20 years old.
Mm,
He's a 2000 baby.
I mean,
I know, that's so crazy.
Isn't that weird? I know.
That is weird. Okay, prepared. Estoy preparando.
Aiden.
3, 2, 1. Oh, I think he's much higher than
And
65.
Aiden takes the lead, 82.5 million.
Oh,
He was
Oh,
close.
yo!
I could give respect to that.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you. Oh
Our
man.
last player.
I was gonna say 75, which
Wait,
would
do I have the lead right now?
Yeah,
Aiden's
3-2.
up 1. So our last player for Aiden to get a draw.
For Luke?
Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Or sorry, Luke to get a draw. Luke to get a draw. So, yeah,
How old is
sorry.
Ter Stegen?
Stegen.
Ter Stegen is 29 years old.
The thing is, I don't know how like goalies differ from like.
He's on a contract until 2025. He's been with the club since 2014. Born in Mönchengladbach. Nice.
Did know that actually.
I got my answer,
Yeah.
and I don't like it. 3, 2, 1.
Please, Luke.
He's much higher, surely.
No way.
He's one of the best keepers in the world. If All Black is like
He's a
130,
keeper. He's a
Yo,
goalie.
tell me I've won this. Tell me I've won this.
Luke, you can't disrespect the goalies.
Thank
He's
you.
82.5 million.
Thank you. Come on, mate.
He is the same market value as Alphonso Davies.
You want to know my thought
I'd
process?
much rather have Alphonso Davies than Ter Stegen.
You can't compare.
Yeah,
No, but I just did.
Well, okay, do you want me to? My thought process was doing Oblak's market value before was around like 130, so I
100,
figured that
yeah.
like Ter Stegen's got to be up there as well.
Yeah, Leno's
think
like
Oblak's
probably like
overrated.
5 mil right
Guys,
now.
can we just figure something out right now? I just won a transfer market game. That's the
Yeah,
first.
Aiden,
one.
is that the first time Aiden's ever won a game?
No, he's
No,
won a
I've
game.
won games. I've won games. It's the first time I've ever won a transfer
Really?
value game. Because I.
Okay.
All right, guys. I want you guys to click off this video right now and check out our interview with Phil Shane because it's a fantastic of an interview. It was great. He tells great stories about his career. Definitely the best thing to tune into right now. And one more comment about the Super League. Improving the game is great, but you have to remember, professional sports are not professional sports without us, the fans and supporters. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Inside the D, and we will see you in the next one.